What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Nerd Channel. And we are back with, you guessed it, we know what it is. You know what time it is. Dragonball New Hope, Part 3. I think these things were broken down into smaller episodes before, but since they finished with a lot of it, I think they kind of made them bigger. Because I remember these things ending a lot sooner, these videos being a lot shorter. Oh well, we're going to watch Part 3. Then we're going to do Part 4 later on this week or the weekend, however we do it. And I see more people, seeing a couple more subscribers. I still want the 200. But that's our goal. I believe in you guys. I believe in y'all. Y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. 200. 200. I'm seeing people watching it, seeing people engaging. But this is one of my favorite. We're gonna get into it as of right now. Okay. Part 3, Dragon Ball New Hope. Let's get into it.
Last time on New Hope, before the series took.
I am afraid you are forbidden from boarding without permission.
Yeah, we don't care.
So this was Krillin's plan all along?
You're not from the beginning, baby.
A word of warning. You don't want to mess with me.
Last time on New Hope, before the series took a long break, we witnessed the Z-Fighters fall to the perfect android during the Cell games. Due to his own hubris, however, Cell left Krillin alive to pick up the pieces of what was left of his life in the world he knew. Unbeknownst to the villain, not only would the Earth's strongest human train to become even stronger than ever imaginable, even recently be converted into an android himself with the help of Bulma, but Goku also left behind a son. With Cell returning to rid the universe of every planet possessing the Dragon Balls, and a much more angsty Goten training in the Room of Spirit and Time, Krillin knows it's time to face this threat here and now.
This is Part 3 of Dragon Ball New Hope Full Color Edition. Support the author and catch up fully using the links below.
Facing off with Krillin after receiving a surprise gift from the Earthling, Cell urges them to rejoice today.
This gotta be one of my favorite parts.
For him to finally join his friends in the afterlife. He better be sure not to forget to give them his best. You know, in memory of the good old days. It feels like forever since he himself got to see the old, dead gang. It must feel even longer for him.
Yeah, it's gotta be one of my favorite parts.
The villain yet again. Krillin actually agrees. Cell can't imagine how impatient he is to be with him again. When he is, they can all reminisce of the time Gohan pounded Cell's face into a bleeding, contorted mess of what it once was. A face that was so full of fear, as a mere child beat him senseless.
Get him, Krillin.
Clearly not the passive response the android was expecting.
Get him.
Silently staring forward in frustration.
Oh, Cell, I know you ain't gonna take that. You ain't gonna take that laying down, are you?
He makes his way to the ground so they can continue this little chat face to face. Letting his emotions emerge, Cell hisses for this insignificant pest to mind his words. Has he already forgotten how pathetic he looked the last time they met? He was crawling at his feet, crying over the loss of that useless Android 18. He remembers, right? Though this is enough to anger Krillin too. He tells himself to calm down. He can't take Cell on by himself yet, so he has to buy some more time for Goten. Given his present demeanor, Cell figures that's all it took for him to return to his cowering self. Just a little refresher. The Earthling tells Cell he's curious about something. Cell has been terrorizing the entire universe for 13 years. Surely he's been to many places and fought many warriors. In all that time, has he met even a single one who was strong enough to face him? Who admits the universe is vast and full of civilizations. However, they are only as formidable as their greatest weakness. He devastated many galaxies, eradicated thousands of solar systems, killed billions of people. And among them, only a handful of warriors were able to entertain him. To be honest, he could only count them on one hand, and none of them are alive today to testify otherwise. Alas, it was only here where he was ever.
I'm thinking it was probably some people that we may know in the Dragon Ball universe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this goes, but I'm thinking maybe with some people that we know. Maybe that could be an Easter egg. I don't know if it's some people that Goku may have fought on his journey. I don't know, but just a thought.
Ever able to find a true challenge. But look where they are now. And Krillin thinks that's bad too. Things would have been a lot easier if he had never faced a challenge at all, even small ones. Likely fearing anything above a massacre would only make him stronger. It is, however, worth noting, it's unlikely Cell has done much genuine training or received any significant Zenkai boost during his time off-world. Of course, if his statements are to be believed. Have a lookout. Already aware of his arrival, Dende and Popo tremble with fear as they listen in on the conversation. This monster brags about the billions of lives he's ended. Dende can't even imagine the atrocities that he's committed throughout the entirety of the universe. Bulma can't believe they managed to find someone even worse than that cretin Frieza. And technically, this one's actually an Earthling. At least more or less.
Well, he kind of is Frieza. Mixed with Saiyan Saga Vegeta. Mixed with Goku. Saiyan Saga Goku. And a little bit of Cell Saga Goku, because he had his transmission. He got a lot of different evil genes in there. King Code, Frieza, Saiyan Saga Vegeta, all combined. All the Z Fighters are meshed together and combined, including Frieza and King Code. So, yeah, you're going to have this twisted, psychotic bastard of a villain.
Chi-Chi screeches out wondering why Krillin is just chatting up that cockroach instead of crushing him. But every passing minute matters. For every 10 minutes that passes out here, it's equal to more than 2 days for Goten in the hyperbolic time chamber. As we ourselves...
Smart, Krillin. Krillin, we love you. You're so smart in this story. I like this version of Krillin. This has got to be one of my favorite versions. They did a good job hyping up Krillin. They really did.
Take a glimpse in. Goten narrates to himself that he's been in here for almost a year already. Time really flies when you're busy. 2 more weeks and he thinks it'll be about the right time to leave. But first, he definitely needs a haircut. Since entering this room, he's gone further than he ever expected with his training. He really thought he could never be this strong. He wants Krillin to trust that if Cell ever comes back, he'll make sure that it costs the monster his life. Mind you, until this point in the story, Goten only really knows of Cell through the tellings of the remaining Z Fighters. Krillin then offers another question. What was it that happened in space which made him wish to destroy every set of Dragon Balls? Was it merely a random thought? Or did something happen to inspire this new crusade? Happy to oblige. After he devastated their planet, some Witchers tried to find them in order to eradicate him. When Cell heard of their intentions, he tortured them until they revealed all information possible about the power behind those orbs, and where to find them all. To our hero. This means Cell was clearly misinformed about the limitation of the balls. Unfortunately, even if they got the Dragon Balls, their plan wouldn't have worked. Their power is based on the power of who created them. Cell doesn't have to destroy the Earth. If the Dragon Balls could harm him, he would have been sent to hell a long time ago. The protectors of the Earth have heard the song and dance several times before. The dragon won't directly rid them of a villain. Well, the monster finds this.
Nope, it won't. Because it's not powerful enough. Well, according to the manga, not the manga. When I watched Dragon Ball Z, they tried to destroy. If you look at the manga, this is the manga, Dragon Ball Z manga. They tried to wish the Saiyans to be destroyed, but being that Kame was the guardian, he couldn't grant a wish beyond his power. Just like they couldn't turn Android 17 and 18 back into human because Android 17 and 18 were beyond the dragon's power. Dende was the guardian, so that wish was beyond his Shenron's power, so we wouldn't be able to grant that wish. So he can't destroy Cell because Cell is beyond the power. Now the Super Dragon Balls, they're limitless.
It's interesting. He doesn't believe that's enough information to dissuade his decision. He thinks he'll do away with this world as planned. And given the hostile welcome Krillin delivered to him, it seems pretty obvious that this time, the Earthling is prepared to face his destiny and disappear along with his dear Earth. Is he right? Going to remove his cloak, Krillin grunts that he's more right than he could ever know. Assuming he was just going to go without resistance, it seems to Cell that the human would like an honorable death. He forgot that here, as laughable as it may be, he's considered to be a great warrior. Either way, he will give Krillin the fight to the death he seeks, the one he refused him many years ago. To make this fun, he will attempt to lower his power to match his opponents. It would be a shame to break his neck with only one punch again. He better not disappoint. With a smirk, Cell has no idea what he's in for.
So don't. Android Krillin. Dun, 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 dun. It's Krillin. And wait, can he, since he has unlimited ki, can't he do Kaioken without destroying his body? I'm wondering.
Powering up, the villain can't help but notice that Krillin's hiding his ki, even despite powering up. Though he shrugs his...
Nope, it's not hiding his ki. He doesn't have ki. Doesn't have it anymore because he's an android. So guess what, Cell? Well, we'll see. Everyone already knows what's happened, but let's find out, shall we, together.
This off is no matter at the end of the day. Unaware, Krillin is an android and his ki is not able to be sensed at all. He scoffs that at least one of them is taking this seriously. But Krillin thinks the Cell's lowered his strength so much, it'll take him some time to get back to his full power. He couldn't have asked for this much. The after image technique. How ridiculous.
And I like this stuff, man. The music is bumping, the fight scenes, this stuff, man. Where were these guys when Super first started? Why didn't Toyotaro? Why didn't they sign off on a lot of these fans helping with Dragon Ball Super? Super would have been a lot better if Toriyama would have retired and left it up to the fans. Fans like this, people that wrote New Hope, people that wrote Return of Kakarot. Why? It would have people that wrote Dragon Ball Multiverse. Dragon Ball Multiverse would have been a better series than Dragon Ball Super. Some of these series would have been a lot better. Some like a spin-off series, alternate reality series. This stuff, oh my goodness, man. It would have been way, way better. I'm just saying.
Although he's able to catch the invader off guard, Cell's able to use an ability most recognizable as 17's ki barrier to shield him from the blast.
And he cheated.
Krillin curses that after all of that, he's already back on his feet. His regeneration ability seems to be even more efficient than before. It's like he never attacked him at all. From what he's saying, it seems like the ability Cell uses to restore his body might now be able to work as an all-around healing factor, healing each individual damaged cell. Though his pride appears as wounded as ever, he snarls at our hero to touch down on the ground this instant.
So he's almost like Majin Buu now, or Super Buu. This is what this cell reminds me of. Honestly, this cell reminds me of Super Buu. Yeah, he really does.
He utters that besides that little brat Gohan, nobody has ever punched him with so much strength. In all of Jiro's research bestowed upon him, Earthlings are completely incapable of such power. He demands Krillin explain what happened to him. Who lets out a bit of a scoff at this. He thought Cell was the perfect being. He's supposed to be more perceptive than this. From where he's standing, it seems like it should be pretty obvious. The villain shouts for his useless human prey to stop acting so bold and answer him, or he will kill him right now. But human, Cell is mistaken. The two of them are actually brothers now. They belong to the same family.
Dun, da, da, da.
After a short moment of shocked silence, Cell bellows out with laughter at such a claim. However,
That's why I wish that it was a story where all the humans survived and they became androids and trained and stuff. But I think there is a multiverse. I think multiverse has that. I think Yamcha became an android, but I think Krillin became like Master Roshi. But so it's not quite. In that story, Yamcha was an android, and he was about the strongest android 17, if not stronger, I think. But yeah, Yamcha should have been made an android. I believe he should have been made into an android so he can get his power up. But I don't want to say that too loud because Dragon Ball Super is all about fan service. They may decide to bring the manga back and give Yamcha a ridiculous power up. So I better shut up.
it's not that he's in denial of what he's saying could be true, but the irony. Krillin has become what he despises most in the world, an android. How pathetic. The worst part of all of this is that he ludicrously did this with the hopes of defeating him, right? He must know
Not really.
that even as an android, he is nothing more than a miserable insect when compared to his own perfection. However, he does have the feeling that he will be able to entertain him more than expected now. At least enough to not accidentally kill him too soon. Foolishly letting the demon power back up. Everyone above also notices his ki skyrocketing. Bulma can tell with her equipment that his previous power level was nothing compared to what it's reading now. Actually, according to her data, this is close to his full power from 13 years ago, just before he left the Earth. Chi-Chi asks,
So super perfect Cell, I guess, when the moment he killed Gohan. So it'll take a Super Saiyan 2 to beat him. Gohan was still stronger than him. So anyone that trains to get Majin Vegeta could still beat him.
this is bad news, isn't it? Before she inquires about Krillin's strength. But that's something she doesn't have the answer to. His energy has been undetectable ever since he became an android. Facing off again. Cell chortles that he's impressed his foe hasn't already run away. Who tells him that he's too confident, and that'll be his undoing. Instant transmission is really a fantastic technique. Don't you agree? Make sure to thank Son Goku for this marvelous gift. Ha ha ha! You missed. As Krillin hits the dirt, Cell can see that he's grown much more resilient.
Use the Macaque Concasapo. Use it. It might not work though. He probably doesn't know it.
Over the last dozen years or so.
Or like the bridge said, Krillin, why aren't you using your Shienzan? That probably won't work either. No, wait a minute. I just spoiled something. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys.
Krillin would have been long dead by now. He must have been dedicating every minute of his life just for this inevitably futile moment. But they're just warming up, and he only hopes he hasn't reached his limit yet. Self still has to pay him back for that little sneak attack from before. Today, Krillin will face a slow and painful death. Getting up, despite his level of new strength, Cell's raw power is still indeed largely superior to his own. Close combat is too dangerous, and it's not smart to try matching him blow for blow like this.
Man, you could tell about how this Krillin is. He's a lot more serious. He's a lot more. You could tell the not outwardly but inwardly, the battle scars that he has, the pain that he has. He's seeing all his loved ones die. Android 18 being killed in front of his eyes. You can see how this timeline has impacted Krillin versus how he would used to look in the Buu saga. Because this Krillin, you gotta look at the cell time. 7 years to the Buu saga. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. GT, this lines up with Dragon Ball GT, honestly. Because let's see, the end of Z. This lines up with almost the end of Z. Almost. Not GT, but almost the end of Z. Close to it. So this Krillin, that's why he became an android, because he started seeing his limits, because he was getting older. By the end of Z, he was he was older, but you didn't see it. So 13 years, because you got 7 years and you got another 10 years. 14 is 4 years before the end of Z. So, but the Krillin then looks this is a battle scarring Krillin internally. All the emotional trauma. He's probably got PTSD, all kind of stuff going on. And the way that the artwork, just look at the artwork, man. Look how serious his face is. I've just been paying attention throughout the whole entire thing. Just look how serious he looked. Look at you could tell the emotional scarring on Krillin. Cause I've seen Krillin throughout all the other stuff. He always looked happy. Even when he may have been worried, but never to this extent. He looks like a warrior. In this, he looks like a warrior. This is what he looks like. I mean, when I look at this, I think about Piccolo. I think about Vegeta. I think about Trunks, future Trunks. Battle-scarred, hardened warriors. Vegeta has a lot of trauma behind him. He lost everything. Trunks, he lost everything. Piccolo, he was a warrior from the start. Future Gohan. Names go on. It's just something I noticed. We can continue.
Actually, it would be best to borrow one of Goten's tactics. But what could he mean? Krillin gasps that Cell does pack quite a punch. But you know what surprises him more? His lack of speed. He's so slow. While he was able to make Cell take a dip, the biodroid calmly details how Krillin must have regrets that he didn't have this idea before the Cell games. If he were an android prior, he could have easily defeated him. But does he mean the Cell games itself, or simply before he reached it?
And the Goku Black music. Oh my goodness. See, I could pick from everything. Oh yeah, that image before where Krillin and Goten were sitting on that cliff, that was from Future Gohan and Trunks timeline. I couldn't think about it before, but that's what it was. And when he was on the edge of the Kami's lookout, when he had his hand like this, ready to take off, that was Piccolo. After he merged with Kame, that was Piccolo before he left. He waved bye-bye to Mr. Popo that's when he started being a lot nicer to Mr. Popo, because he had merged with Kame. But he was waving bye-bye to Mr. Popo before he went and fought Cell. So I'm learning where all these images are coming from. And this is when Cell when Cell fought not Majin Vegeta, they kept talking about Super Vegeta. When Vegeta couldn't land a finger on him, and Vegeta tried everything he had, he was just standing there with his arms folded.
Just perfect form. He ushers them to get back to land once more. The monster states that his foe was kicking harder earlier. He increased his speed, but it decreased his strength. What an amateur tactic. Is that all he could think of to compete with the instant transmission? But this sort of confuses Krillin. His own tactic doesn't compete with Cell, it surpasses him. Hasn't he realized how abnormally slow his version of the instant transmission is? It's a ki sensing skill. Using it against an opponent like himself, whose ki can't be sensed, is useless. Ironically, this is the opposite tactic Trunks used, where he increased his strength but sacrificed his speed. It resulted in complete failure, something Krillin was there to witness.
No living being should ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life.
I don't
But
care.
at any rate, Cell growls that he not lecture him. Vermin needs to know its place. Using his telekinesis, the Fiend smiles at his foe is abruptly way less talkative. Did he forget he could...
Darth Vader. Da, 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 ba, ba. Oh, y'all don't think I like Star Wars because I talk about Dragon Ball all the time? Oh, yeah, I like Darth Vader. Darth Vader's the man. I watched Anakin Skywalker's whole entire story. The whole process of him becoming Vader. Yeah. I love Anakin Skywalker, especially his redemption arc. He sacrificed his life to... which is crazy how he became the chosen one. He sacrificed his life because his son was being murdered. But he heard his son's cries for help, so he stepped in. That was just kind of so at the end of the day, he really loved his son, no matter how much of an evil bastard he became. He still loved the heck out of his son. Yeah, I like all kind of stuff. I'm a nerd. That's why I have Anime Nerd Channel. I am a all out nerd. But hey, anyway, let's continue.
do this? Gets over here.
Get over here! Come here!
You're trapped, Krillin. I'm going to break your neck. Slowly. Cell cackles for Krillin not to even bother trying to escape. Our hero smiles that he still has his hands free. Using what he calls the solar flare times 100, blood pours from the villain's face.
And he did this in Super too, but it didn't blind your eyes. What it did, I think it made it hard to sense Krillin's ki or pick up. It did come completely different in Super, so I like this one better.
He screams out in pain from the damage caused to his eyes. That was no ordinary solar flare. His eyes are completely calcinated. That's going to cost Krillin so much more.
Kill him, Krillin, kill him.
Blasting him away. Cell's ki is completely gone. The others cheer out in
Or is it?
excitement and relief. None of them are getting readings of any kind of Cell's energy. Krillin did it! While in South City, the people there feel a terrible rumbling coming from the ground. Is it an earthquake? And what's that explosion off that nearby island? A couple of these people we recognize, though never had much of a chance to make an impact in the story. When a devastated Cell appears before Mr. Satan. stammering. He too recognizes this beast all too well.
No, Cell, don't do it, please.
After regenerating, Cell thinks to himself that if he hadn't teleported here in time, that loser would have killed him. That's the second time that worm has forced him to regenerate, which at least mostly debunks the healing factor theory from before. It means Krillin obliterated him early in the fight as well. But now back in full force, Hercule tries to guard his daughter and tells her to get away. The android scoffs that he remembers this Earthling. He was the buffoon who clowned around at the opening of the Cell games. Thanks to his familiar key, he was able to teleport himself over here just in time. He is truly grateful. As an expression of his gratitude,
Don't do it, second form Frieza, please.
he's going to
Cell. But this is what Frieza did on Namek when he transformed into his second form. After Vegeta goaded him into transforming, Frieza said, like, my power is 1 million, and yeah, he demonstrated it by blowing up the island. I know too much.
offer everyone here a quick and painless death. The energy from Cell's attack making its way back to Krillin. He can't believe he found a way to survive. His energy and vitality seem to be the same as earlier too. Reducing Cell City to rubble. And logically, Videl and Mr. Satan too. Cell has had enough of this little game. He is now going to crush Krillin.
This is how I know these are some good writers, because I want Cell to die so badly. I really want him dead.
With the others. Dende announces to everyone that the fight has resumed. Though already aware the beast survived, they can't believe how fast he was able to recover. Unfortunately, we can see on a drone monitor that Cell kept true to his word and is quickly beating Krillin down. Roshi can only plead that he hangs on. He's now taking Krillin seriously and not giving him any room to breathe. Dende wonders if he himself should get out there and try to heal him. Though
Use the Kaioken.
Bulma argues that would be a bad idea. There's no way Cell's attention could be diverted long enough to get Krillin back to full health. He would likely be quickly killed as to get rid of the Dragon Balls. Chi-Chi bellows that they need to make their wish and force Goku and Gohan to come back to kill Cell. As they've been saying, this is too dangerous. So
Gohan is, if Cell is this much stronger, what they say, he was about the same as he was 13 years ago. But well, at this point, Goku probably should have unlocked Super Saiyan 3 by now. Goku and Gohan, they should be way, way stronger. They should all be strong Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. At least Goku should be Super Saiyan 3. But he can't be brought back. You can't bring Goku back because he's already died. You'd have to bring back Gohan. Gohan's never died. Trunks has never died. So you could bring one of them back. I would at least bring back future Trunks, because he's got to be Super Saiyan 2 by now.
Cell has been clear about destroying the planet this time. It's all or nothing and they need to. Roshi shouts to her that's enough. They've been relying on the Dragon Balls every time there's a problem. It is now time for Krillin and Goten to be the ones to protect the Earth, not their dead friends. If they all don't learn how to take care of themselves, it takes all the purpose out of what it means to be alive. As a voice calls out, Grandpa Roshi's right. They won't need the Dragon Balls. He's here now. With Goten finally emerging from the Room of Spirit and Time, how much stronger has he gotten while within its walls? Will he be able to save Krillin from certain doom? If so, will they together save the Earth?
No, everyone dies, and the end. Cell blows up the Earth and goes on to blow up the rest of the universe until he meets Broly and gets his head chopped off. No, that's not what happens. Y'all know that's not real.
Far above the chaos occurring down on Earth, Goten, sporting what looks like Bardock's prototype haircut and more confidence than he ever had in the original series, cool-headedly remarks to the gang at Kami's Lookout that they don't have to worry anymore. He's going to take care of Cell for good. And given the recent events in Krillin's fight where the tides are turning against our heroes, he couldn't have picked a better time. Though, Mama Hawk does what she does and brashly scurries over to her son, shouting he's here! He's finally here! She's missed him so much. And allowing himself to be human for a change. He assures that he missed her too.
You hungry, little guy? Whoa, you are a hungry little guy.
The Garfield.
Don't
But
care.
she wants to know what's up with this new haircut. She didn't approve of that. A bit taken aback. He just wanted to change it is all. Likely sick of them reminding him that it resembles his father perfectly. His father who he's yet to find respect for. But he only brings up that Grandpa Roshi kept confusing him with Goku, and it was getting old. Ruffling his new do, Chi-Chi huffs that he keeps calling him Goku instead of Dad. He's doing this to express his resentment towards him. She informs him that he may have inherited her own bad attitude, but he should know that whether he likes it or not, and just like his father was able to do, Goten's own presence is enough to fill everyone's hearts with hope. That's what he did best. The boy doesn't know how to respond to a comment like this. Alas, he resolves to get down to business as time is of the essence. He questions what's been going on since he was in the room. While it's only been a couple days for them, a couple years have passed for himself. He finds it weird he can sense Cell's energy, but not Krillin's. An inquiry that Bulma offers to fill him in on. More or less. She explains to him that a lot has happened since the last time he saw Krillin. In short, she was able to use Dr. Gero's research to convert Krillin into an android himself. This has made him more powerful than he ever dreamed possible. But it comes with a strange side effect. Given the artificial nature of his new anatomy, they can no longer sense his ki. This helps him understand how Krillin has gotten so strong.
Still looks like Goku Black right here. And I know the difference because Goku Black has a darker type theme. And Goten here is kind of now I see why I can kind of see why a lot of people say they wish Goten was Goku Black. I kind of see it. Like if Goten came from a darker universe, darker time where everyone's killed and he just kind of lost his mind, kind of went crazy. Let's say if Goten was at a dark universe where all of his friends and loved ones were killed, and he kind of lost his mind. He had been on the Earth. The Earth had been decimated by a threat, by Majin Buu or somebody, and he was the only survivor. He had to live on the Earth by himself for years, and he kind of lost his mind and just wanted to just start destroying it. You know, I could see that turning into a good story. I didn't see it at first. I just thought it would be boring at first, but I can kind of see how it would be a good story. Him being from another universe, and Zamasu finding him and telling him that if he helped him, if he assisted him with the Zero Mortal plan, that he would recreate everything in his image, that he would get his family back, that he would get another reality. I could see that turning into a thing, because and Goten listening because he's lost his mind, and he'll do anything to get his old family's old reality back. So he'll believe Zamasu's lies and fight by its side and stuff like that. I can see that happen. I can see that turn into a good story. But they ruined it. Oh well, too bad.
And how he's able to even hold a candle against the fabled titan he's currently up against. Bulma is really incredible. There isn't any technology she can't master. Peering into the aforementioned battle, Dende stutters to the Saiyan that their hero on the ground needs his help right now. He's in big trouble and doesn't know how much longer he can hold out. Snapping the warrior out of his inquisitive focus, he tells everyone to stay here and promises to see him all later. His mother pleads with him to come back safe and sound. After all, he's all she has left. He assures he will. This ends today. Because of this monster, he was born into a planet that has lived in fear his entire life. He will bring peace back to the Earth. As they watch him courageously blast off into the distance, Bulma has to compliment Chi-Chi that her son has really grown up quite well. And all things considered, this is probably the best they could have hoped for. But all his mother can think about is how this darn hyperbolic time chamber just took 2 years of her child's life away from her. Then
I hate that bastard Cell killed baby Trunks. I hate it. Because they could have been friends. They could have did all kind of stuff. They could have did things. They could have, but they didn't want. I understand why. because it would have been too much like Dragon Ball Z Buu Saga. So I kind of see why they took Trunks away also, and make the only hope Goten and Krillin, to make the situation seem so incredibly hopeless to where you don't know how they're gonna come out of this. And yeah, they did their job. Kudos.
Again, if he's able to stop Cell, 2 years is better than all the years. Making his way down from the clouds, Corrin bellows for him to wait up as he's passing by. Though trying to remain as polite as possible, he apologizes that he can. He's in kind of a rush. But knowing how important this is, he quickly tosses him something, telling him to catch. It's the last Senzu, the one that Yajirobe selfishly hides in case of emergency. But he's sure Goten will be able to make much more use out of it than him. Thanking him, he carefully grasps it in his left hand without any issue. Before gunning it to Cell's key, he promises Master Corrin he will rid the world from this monster for good. Growing serious at the tone of the harsh reality he's now faced with, everything he's worked for has culminated in this moment. He only hopes that Krillin can hold out a little bit longer.
We're only just getting started, Krillin.
And I wish Cell would have been this evil in the actual thing, because I wish he would have been an evil bastard and just started injuring people and almost killing people. I wish he would have, instead of Goku sacrificing his life, I wish he would have somehow maybe tortured Goku and killed him and made Gohan transform or something like that. This would have made the Cell Saga way more impactful. They say the Cell Saga was best, but I'm being honest, in this actual series, Cell didn't give me any reason to really just be mad at him. So I can understand why Gohan couldn't get angry, because Gohan had no connection to Cell. How could he get angry? And let's say he personally had all the Cell Juniors fight the other Z5s, and he personally beat Goku to a bloody pulp and tortured Goku. That would have made a better Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Or, it has just been crazy, man. And I have a way that would have kept Goku alive but still saved the series. Still been a good, impactful thing. Like instead of Goku maybe surviving, him instant transmitting Cell somewhere and coming back, and them thinking Cell was dead and everything else. Then he comes back and kills Goku, or shoots him through the chest, and Gohan thinks he's dead. Now that, and he fights and beats Cell, and they take Goku to heal, and they go home. No, but Goku did have to die because of the Buu Saga. He had to learn the Metamarese. He had to learn the fusion from the Metamarese. He had to die to acquire Super Saiyan 3 because he can only train in the underworld to get that, because he was able to train. He had a body to where he could train nonstop under severe pressure that his Earth body couldn't maintain. So a lot of things had to happen for the series to, for Toriyama to kind of see what he needed to do in the Buu Saga. So, I mean, it turned out the way it turned out the way it was supposed to.
Now do you understand the gap between a vulgar android and perfection?
Sinisterly holding his human prey by the shirt.
And this scene right here was when Goku exerted all his energy after Cell did the Warp Kamehameha. After Goku did the Warp Kamehameha, he exerted all his energy, and he fought, and Cell started gaining ground on Goku. That's the look right there. When he grabbed Goku by the shirt, I don't know if it was after he did all the ki blasts and Cell exploded into an energy field. I don't know when this was, but I know it was after the Warp Kamehameha, when Cell started beating Goku. But this is the very scene where Goku was getting his shirt held. I can go back and show it. If anybody needs me to show it, I can go back and look at it. Might be able to find it. Hold on. Might be able to find it. Cause Cell, you can find anything, you know what I'm saying? It was what image was it? I'm trying to find it. It might not be on here. I know it was after the Warp Kamehameha. I know he was being beaten. Goku was losing. No. Nope. Thought I could find it, but oh well. Don't matter. If I see it, yeah. If I see it, if I see it, I'll put it up again. But y'all know what I'm talking about. I'll bring it back whenever I find it. But we're gonna get back to it. Cause we ain't gonna. I ain't gonna bore y'all with that trying to find that garbage. But just know, I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Because I could put it up, but I don't want to get copyrighted. I could put an image up, but I don't want to pull the scene up where Goku was fighting Cell and started losing, and this would happen to Goku.
And after quite a bit of manhandling, Cell chortles that Krillin's pathetic plan has failed, and miserably at that. But our hero begs to differ, spatting that his adversary is an oblivious idiot. It actually worked perfectly. He then takes a hold of one of Cell's arms with all of his strength, making sure he can't run off or move more than an inch. What's that? Having Cell take a seat, Goten arrives just in time to give Krillin a well-needed breather. As the pair happily greet each other, the latter smiles that he's really glad to see him. That was quite the entrance he mocked up there. He didn't even feel his ki until the very last moment. A second longer and he might have been a complete surprise. However, a question must be raised about the android's fight with Cell. Was Bulma truly able to emulate the essentially infinite energy factor that existed within 17 and 18? Or did she, and it still wasn't enough to hold off the Fiend? But showing rare shades of the Goten we know from the original story, or maybe a piece of Gotenks even. He chuckles that, of course, the great hero always has to stick the landing. And judging by the state he's in, he thinks he arrived in the nick of time. If he had decided to drag his feet in getting out of the time chamber for another minute, he might have been in trouble. Krillin admits that he indeed has a few broken bones, but it's nothing to worry about. He still has a lot of fight left within himself. That reminds him. He actually almost forgot about something. Reaching into his armor, he grabs Korin's last Senzu Bean. But he's not super sure if it's going to work on his mentor. You know, now that he's a robot and all. Regardless, Cell picks himself up from the surprise attack to see what's going on. He was under the firm belief Krillin was the only fighter remaining to protect the Earth. That was the sick joke he had put in place after all. Though he lays eyes on a boy who looks like Goku, dresses like Vegeta. Krillin doesn't waste any time and mows down on the bean, bringing him back to full health. A little aghast, Goten figures it seems like it worked at least, as the turtle student smiles that he's not actually a robot. He just has an energy catalyst inside of him. It's not like they'd put his brain in a metal body. He's still as human as he's ever been on a technical level. with the villain beginning to move. Goten laments that even with his master's new strength, it looks like Cell still has the upper hand. And that is the unfortunate truth. As an android, there still isn't much he can do versus the last time this guy vowed to destroy the planet. He had him on the ropes at his current power level. He even thought he beat him for a second, but his ability to regenerate is much more effective than he remembers. It seems to do a lot more than just putting his body back together. We finally get an idea of what's going on in Cell's head. Wondering who this new mysterious child is, he can fairly judge that based on his sheer strength and speed of that cheap shot, he cannot be an ordinary human. And even with all of Dro's knowledge instilled within him, he doesn't have any data on him. Though his ki is strangely familiar. Krillin appears to know him well and he wears the same outfit as Vegeta and Trunks did. At a loss at who he could be, he figures it doesn't matter at the end of the day. He's simply another bug to squash, another toy for his amusement before he does away with the Earth and the Dragon Balls once and for all. The Fiend scoffs at the pair mockingly, begging the question, so this was Krillin's plan all along? To wait for his little friend to show up and face him? This is ridiculous. Then again, it wouldn't be the first time he foolishly put his life in the hands of a child. Nothing he does should surprise him anymore. However, he thought he might have learned after watching all of his friends die. Apparently, the death of his peers, no matter the age, means nothing to him. Of course, Krillin doesn't allow him to get in his head, knowing full well he's simply playing mind games at this point. He reaffirms in Goten not to listen to him.
I like that new gi that Krillin has. It's freaking awesome.
And together they can win. The Biodroid continues his smug taunting to proclaim that if that were true, he wouldn't have merely stared on while he recovered himself with that senzu bean. Unlike them, he knows how to learn from his mistakes. When Goten makes a decision very indicative of his kinship with his father, even if absent, he wants to fight Cell alone.
These two are fighting and ideas are banging around in Bella's head and heart like lights in a storm.
Oh.
Yes.
But frantic as he should be, Krillin demands to know what he's talking about. Does he really think this is the time to be arrogant? No matter how strong he's gotten, he has no idea what this monster's capable of. He needs to be rational and think about the endless number of people who are counting on the two of them. The kid knew he'd be against the idea, but he needs to believe him when he says it has nothing to do with arrogance. Although he doesn't know how to explain it. There's a driving force within himself that's pushing him to fight Cell alone.
The Saiyan DNA, the pride of a Saiyan. Not the pride of, well, yeah, the pride of a Saiyan. I was going to say Saiyan Prince, but we all know that's Vegeta.
And while he definitely doesn't want to admit it, given how long he knew Gohan and Goku, he knows this attitude all too well. He sighs in frustration and resignation, but there's no point for him trying to argue against the child's wishes. That's simply his competitive Saiyan blood talking. It's the same kind of thing his dad would have said. He may have cut his hair while in the Room of Spirit and Time, but he's still acting exactly like him. This only causes Goten to scowl that he not give him that slew of nonsense. Not now. Still holding on to a lot of resentment for the family and friends that he never got to know. As stated in a previous chapter, he feels like they're all revered as these great timeless heroes. But if they're so great, why couldn't they defeat Cell? Goten claims that if he were as stupid as his so-called father, he would have given that senzu to Cell instead of him. And even Krillin can't argue with that. Goku definitely made a few errors that put them at a disadvantage. But the Saiyan promises he will make this guy pay 100-fold for all the stagnant pain he's caused. He won't get away with what he's done, and by the end of this, he will feel several times over the same suffering he has inflicted. Krillin can't believe it.
This attitude kind of reminds me of when Goku was fighting Frieza on Namek. That's what it really takes me back to, when he wanted to be left on the planet alone when he first became a Super Saiyan. That's what it kind of reminds me of. That one, and when, oddly enough, when Gohan unlocked his ultimate form and fought Super Buu.
What he's hearing. While the kid still has a bit of the same attitude and arrogance he's always had, not to mention the disdain for his dad. But the thing that sticks out the most is that he's so calm and collected. It's like he's not even the same person since going into the Room of Spirit and Time. Although,
see what I mean? Kind of reminds me of Ultimate Gohan.
Some of this can be chalked up to maturity with age. It seems like he was able to do some deep reflection during his solitude within that realm. But all of this could also be seen as a red flag. He's never been in a life or death battle before, and part of being human is feeling like the less we know, the more we're prepared. As he makes his approach to the challenge ahead, with as much conviction as anyone who came before him. Cell giggles aloud at how funny this is. So what is he? Krillin's student or something? His forgotten son? Judging by the hair, he must at least be adopted. Further stating that he can tell Krillin taught him personally based on his underhanded, sneaky attacks. Without those, what makes him think he can go up against the likes of himself? Did his loser master even inform him just who Cell is? Just who it is that he's defying? He is the perfect being, destroyer of galaxies. And who is this brat that stands before him? Just a punk kid. In a calm, ominous, almost gravelly I am the night voice, Goten sears that he is vengeance. And Cell made a grave mistake in coming back here. He could have just flown off and disappeared into the void of nothing that is space.
No, I'm not going to say it.
But now, he won't let him get out of here alive.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. I said it.
He's going to take care of him and put an end to his reign of terror. Annoyed by Goten's confident fortitude.
And this whole thing, his whole face, Goten looks like it kind of reminds me of Goku from Namek when he fought Frieza. Frieza, Saiga Goku. The seriousness that he has.
So growls to know just who this boy thinks he is. He has it in good faith that he will probably start to offer real answers to his questions when he begins ripping off his limbs one by one. Retaining his composure, the child simply lets the villain rattle on while he listens in silence. Once he's sure he's done, and after peacocking his aura a bit in order to show off what his power beholds, Goten dismisses Cell's words and tells him not to worry. He will understand soon enough who he is, but he's only going to realize he is exactly who he told him he was. As the final showdown for Earth begins, will Goten's training be enough to overcome the force that Cell has become? Will his hubris, the same shown by his older brother, be the undoing of everyone he's come to care about? Or will Krillin put his foot down and do everything he can to win?
I'm not going to spoil it. If you hadn't seen it before, I'm not going to spoil it. But I know which one of those questions is going to have a yes. How about that? So we're going to have a part 4. Going to do part 4. Probably going to do that live. I think it might not be today. I'm probably going to do part 4 live. I'm going to upload this. And yeah, probably going to do it live. You know, probably going to do it live because, yeah, this stuff is some of the best stuff I've seen. We're going to do Multiverse too. We're going to do the different universes. We're going to react to the different universe stories. One of my personal favorites when Captain Ginyu's, when he changed bodies and became King Cold. That was one of my favorites. There's a lot of different universes that I liked. But that's going to be all for this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Still want those 200s. Hit the like buttons. You like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Interact with me. Talk to me. Love to see you in the comments. Let's share some dialogue together. Y'all always pretty good with that. But just want to see more likes and more subscription. You know. That's all. But, you know. But it's all fun at the end of the day. But I'm going to have part 4 in the works. The finale of this part, but you're going to have the future Gohan side of it after a while, after this one, after part 4. But we're going to see how this concludes. It's probably going to be Friday, Saturday. It's going to be one day this weekend. And I'm probably going to do it live. You know, because I think it's going to be better live. Going to do the conclusion live. Then we'll go into the other stuff after that. But that's all for this one. See y'all on the next go round. Take care.